Hello and welcome back. And as some of you might know, over the last 6 days, I've put my body through what most people would probably call quite an extreme detox. It included minimal food, no caffeine, no sugar, lots of movement and exercise, and lots of stillness and introspection time and meditation. And what I want to talk about today isn't just the physical side of doing something like this, it's what happens between the mind and the body when you do decide to challenge yourself in this way. This week's been a very real, very raw demonstration of one thing, and that is that the mind will do everything it can to just keep you where you are, within your comfort zone. And if you don't understand that actual fact that the mind does do that, it just does everything it can to keep you in comfort zone, you believe it and you stay within it. So when you remove the usual comforts, the go-to things that keep you distracted, keep you feeling comfortable, like, in terms of food, sugar, caffeine, or pushing yourself in an exercise way, you start to hear the mind very clearly saying lots of things. And I heard this many times in my own head. Right, I can't do this, I'm too tired, I'm exhausted, this isn't healthy, I need more food, I'm starving, what's the point? Why don't you just go and lie down? But here's the thing, those thoughts they feel very real, they feel true in the moment. It feels, very physically true. But what I've learned again and again is that the mind it's not trying to harm you, it's trying to keep you safe. Safe in the familiar, safe in what you already know, and safe in that comfort zone. But as we've spoken about before, the comfort zone is not where any growth happens. You cannot grow if you completely always stay within that comfort zone. So what's fascinating is the body and the mind are having two completely different experiences, actually, and this is what I observed this week. The body is actually incredibly intelligent when you give it space. And that's what it feels like I've done this week. It's giving the body space. It starts to heal. It starts to recalibrate and reprogram. And in this week alone, I noticed that when I arrived there, I had a slight little cut on my wrist, but it just healed really quickly. It just really noticeably just disappeared very quickly. It felt like, even though I'm not somebody who suffers from inflammation, I do have, pain in joints sometimes and things like that. But it felt like all of that inflammation just massively reduced. And I just noticed my skin brightening up, my hair and my nails becoming stronger, and everything feels kind of like it's improved. It's just had the space to really be nurtured and held, because the body knows exactly what to do when it's given the space to do it. But the mind is reacting to the withdrawal from the sugar, the withdrawal from processed foods, the withdrawal from caffeine, and then it kicks in with, when that happens, we might have a headache, we might feel weakness, but then the mind says, we can't do this. We can't do this exercise, we can't do this food, we can't do this, another one of these drinks, we can't get to sleep, whatever it is. But this is what a detox does. And I've done it before, so I know that there is always a breakthrough point, even when it gets really uncomfortable. Generally on the Wednesday, if you start on the Sunday, the Wednesday is generally the worst day. But then after that, as you push through that, there is a breakthrough point. And that breakthrough point is when you stop identifying with the voice in your head and you're able to really, really start just observing it. And instead of, I can't do this, I started to question that and then look at it and say, well, that's interesting. My mind's telling me I can't do this. And that one shift, just questioning that I can't do this, is that true? That changes everything. Because now you recognise that you are not the voice, but you are the awareness of it. And from that place, you get to choose, and you get to choose in every moment with that. And you can question it. Is that actually true? And most of the time, what the mind is saying isn't actually true. And I was really noticing the mind and kind of saw it like a toddler having a tantrum a lot of the time. It wants sugar, it wants comfort, it wants things to be the same, it wants to give in rather than push through. And when it doesn't get what it wants, it starts to scream and cry and just, flail its arms and legs around. But just because it's loud, it still doesn't mean it's right. And every time you don't give in, and every time you just move forward anyway, you create new evidence for the mind. Evidence that says, I can do hard things. I am stronger than this voice in my head. And then something really interesting happens. The mind starts to quiet down because you're proving it wrong. Because it realises you're not listening to it in the same way as you did anymore. And you've stepped into a different level of leadership within yourself. So for me, this whole experience feels like I've given my body a full service, like when you take your car in. You clean it out, you flush the system, you replace what's not working. And when you get it back, you've got almost like a new car if you have like a full service and valet. It just runs better, it feels smoother, it's cleaner, it's more efficient. And really that's what this week has felt like for my body and for my mind. Yes, I've lost weight and I feel so much better for that. Even though I wasn't massively overweight, I just feel like much more myself. My energy levels are so much higher. But the biggest shift isn't physical. It's this. I feel more connected, more present, more in tune with my body, and really more aware of my thoughts without being controlled by them. There is more space, there's more clarity, more gratitude for life and everything in life, more desire to be out in nature, to really be present in the moment. And that's something you can't get from comfort. So if you're someone who feels stuck or you feel held back by your own thoughts, just know this, that voice in your head is not you, and it's also not the truth. It is a program, it is your conditioning, and it's designed to protect you. And you don't have to fight it. In fact, that will not work at all. You just have to see it as a separate part operating alongside you, if you like. Because the moment you really see it as separate, you're no longer inside it, you're no longer identifying as it, and that is where your power truly is. And this week really reminded me that very clearly that we don't need more comfort. What we need is more courage to move through the discomfort and to meet the version of us that's waiting on the other side. And you'll have done many things before in your life where you've pushed through something and you've been really proud of yourself on the other side, thinking, I'm so amazed I got through that and I did that and I feel so much better for it. So we know this, but it's something that we kind of shy away from because it takes effort. But actually when the effort's put in, the rewards are so amazing on the other side of that. So I hope that helped someone today, spoke to someone today, and I'd love to hear your comments. And yeah, thank you for listening.